Hey, this is Suma Zhao, and you're listening to the Get a Life podcast. What a bother. Come on, Bish, do I really have to do this?
Well, if you don't want me to tell Summer Sure that you've been eating his meat buns.
Alright. Jeez, calm down.
Hey guys, and welcome to Get Life Podcast Kunai. Last episode was about Tempest, or whatever it's called. I'm just going to call it Tempest. Because I can't remember the name, guys. Don't judge me. This episode...
No Tempest.
No one cares, Kevin. No one cares.
Senpai
right?
doesn't notice me.
It's alright. Speaking of Senpai doesn't notice me, Persona 4 animation, yeah! And I'm guessing people are like, what the hell? What's that got to do with senpais? There's a lot of
Teddy.
senpai. Yeah, there's a lot of senpai ship in this game.
Everybody looks onto senpai.
Yes, it's true. Even that, that girl in the animation, Ayane, the one that does the trumpet or the trombone or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's always like, oh, senpai, she's like that. She's like, what's his name? The guy with the grey hair from Free? I forgot his name now. Ai-chan.
I think Ai-chan, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
They have the same haircut as well. Just saying.
Yeah, they do.
And they're all like, senpai, but the whole senpai thing is kind of overused in this anime. But anyway, like I said, this is the anime adaptation of the awesome game, in my opinion, Persona 4. Persona 4, let's get just some overview. Persona 4 was a PlayStation 2 game. It's part of the Persona series, and yeah, it's also been re-released on the PlayStation Vita, like this HD remake with new storyline, not new storyline, just additional storyline, additional bosses, and additional social links, which is awesome. So yeah, what did you guys think?
Kevin, you want to start?
Alright, so do you mean initial impressions?
Yeah,
or
like
impressions
initial
at the end?
Initial impressions.
Alright, when the first time I started this and Bish announced it, I was really happy because a bunch of people in my timeline they're huge Persona fans. Shout out to Joe. I don't know if he's gonna listen to this, but he was the one that was spamming Thailand with Persona 4 stuff. So I came into Persona 4 with high expectations, because I played Virtue's Last Reward and we're like, hey, Persona 4 is kind of similar, you might like that. So I was interested, and honestly though, when Bish suggested it's a 26 episode anime, by the way, I felt kind of unmotivated because it's 26 episodes, I'm gonna die watching this, it's really long. Right? But once I got into the first few episodes, it was interesting, right? I found it really enjoyable. I really like how they introduced the characters of Persona battles, but I think towards the middle, episodes 13 and 14 specifically, is when it's this period of stagnation where I was kind of forcing myself to watch it because it's basically a filler, a mini filler arc, and...
Which episode would that be?
13 and 14.
What was that about?
It was when, not Yosuke, Narukami goes around helping, I think 5 different people to get...
That's the thing. Let me tell you
the summer
something
vacation
about
episode. The summer vacation
that.
episode.
And is that the one where you have it from Nanako's point of view and then you have it from Narukami?
Yes.
Yeah. The thing with that episode is that actually happens within the game. It's a very, I think, in my opinion, it's a very smart way of doing it because the game is based around these social links, building relationship with other people, maintaining those bonds, because obviously those bonds grant you options to kind of, once you've maxed out a social link, you get this you get an item from that character, and then you get this ability to fuse this new persona. So that's how it works there. Once you max them out, the more bonds you have, the more powerful you are, essentially. It's showing that kind of aspect of it. It's showing all the different kinds of social links. So as you see, you had the nurse, you had the young
woman.
mother, the old woman. She's the death arcana, ironically.
Yeah.
You have the student. Yeah. So these are all social links within the game. Obviously, they do take a lot more time to max out these social links and whatever, and you do it in a very different way, actually. But, most of these are actually in form of jobs.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So he goes and works as a janitor.
Daycare.
Yeah, works in a daycare, works as a janitor, works as a tutor. That's how you'd build up these social links. Obviously, it's nice. I think it's, like you said, it is essentially filler, but it's filler that is...
It's faithful to the game.
It's faithful to the game. It really doesn't make any difference to the story, because in the game, you don't necessarily need to do those social links. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I comment on that?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, in general, even though I haven't played Persona 4, I know that by going on the wiki and talking with people have played the game, it is quite clear that Persona 4 stays true to the game. I mean, everything happens almost exactly like it does in the game, and it's truly an adaptation.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. But another thing that I've noted, and I think a few other people have noted too, is that because it's so faithful to the game, it causes some pacing issues. Because in episode 12, that's when they catch the copycat killer, right? And they take there's suddenly 2 filler episodes, right? And that kind of kills the mood. And then it's basically after episode 12, there's filler, plot, and then filler.
Yeah. Because
plot again. It's just on and off.
But that's how the game is in itself. It's like you complete a dungeon, you fight that boss, and you save someone. You know, for instance, you're saving Chie and Yukiko. After that, you know, you have to wait for them to recover before you maintain a relationship with them. That's how it works in the game, and then they make you focus on social link and more social links and social links.
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, it's very faithful, and that is a downfall to this anime, like you said, because there's a lot of fillers because of it. And I think that's what they're trying to cut down on within the Golden anime.
Yeah.
Because that's only 12 episodes, and it's very fast paced. Like they go from Chie's dungeon all the way to Kanji
in like 2 episodes.
In 2 episodes, which is madness.
I do agree that it's faithful, but in terms, I think games and anime are very different forms of media, and even though it's faithful, I don't think it was suitable. Because me, as a non-Persona fan, watching the anime for the first time, I didn't know this. I had to go on the wiki, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's why they put it there, right? So I think that if you play the game and then you watch the anime, then I think you would understand and enjoy it more. But for me, a person who doesn't know that, I think it kind of killed the mood. I didn't understand why they put the filler episodes there, and I had to go look that up on the wiki. You know, they don't really tell you why they put it there in the anime. It's up to you to find out. But regarding the end, I think that, I don't know, it's good and bad, because revealing the killer is Adachi, I mean, it was a surprise, even though I spoiled it for myself accidentally before watching it. It was a surprise, but I think that I think they could have chosen a better villain, or at least a better motive, right?
Really?
Because,
Yeah.
yes, I think
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
yes, because like what I think a good thing would have been is that if they perhaps put the foreshadowing a bit more foreshadowing in the earlier episodes, right? And then when they reveal it, your mind's blown because all the pieces start falling together.
Well,
but in this case, it's just like, oh, it's Adachi, and
No. I disagree with that, because when I watched this for the first time, I've never played Persona before, and I think I was like, oh, okay, I'm just experiencing this, and this was like my second anime at this time, so I was almost a virgin, you know. Well, actually, no, not really a virgin. It was my second time. I'm just saying. So
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Second
a
time.
choice of words.
second time, guys. I wasn't that experienced. Okay. Anyway. So it was just like, oh, I'm just gonna enjoy this and see what the big deal is. And then I didn't notice Adachi because he was always at the house. And then, but it brings back that point, like you said about the whole game thing. It stays very faithful to the game, and that's how the game is like. You know, like even when you're playing the game, you have to figure out, oh, who could it be? And you have to figure out why and what motives they had. And, you know, Adachi, I think, at first I thought the killer was Namatame. And I was just like, yo, it has to be Namatame. He's throwing people into the TV. Why is he doing that? But then, you know, I have to agree. Yeah, Adachi's reason for killing people is kind of stupid. It's like, oh, yeah, she
feel like it.
Yeah, because no, it's not just that. It's like, I think he felt some sort of emotional attachment to the woman, to the TV announcer, Miss Yamano, and then he was like, oh, she's a bitch, so I'm just gonna throw her into the TV. And he tried hitting on a 15-year-old girl, but, you know, she's not taking any of that, and he was like, well, she's gonna be thrown into the TV. I think Adachi is kind of a sicko in that sense, but, you know, he deserves to be in jail. But even then, he's such a nice guy. Like, you're talking to him, and he's like,
that's
yeah,
a facade. It's all
like,
lies.
yeah, I'm Adachi, you know. But no, I don't know. It's even when he's at Nanako's house, and he's like, yo, it's me, Adachi, you know. I like Adachi because of that, but even then, it for me, it was like it was cool that Adachi was the killer for me, but it was like unexpected that change. From, oh, he's super nice guy, and then, you know, when he's having the fight with Yu Narukami, it just changes, and it's just like, really,
Yeah,
Adachi, you're gonna be like this? I thought we had a relationship going on, you know?
Oh my god! We ship bitch and Adachi. We ship it.
Send your fanfics to Tyson.
No, I don't think. Yeah, send fanfics to Tyson. That's just a continuous thing. No, I wouldn't say I would ship myself with Adachi. It's honestly, I don't know. He's not my favorite character, but I liked him as the killer. I think he would have been like the most appropriate person. Who else could you have picked for the killer?
Fun fact: I actually suspected Ike.
Really?
Suspected her. Yeah.
No, but that's because she's very mysterious. In fact, she's
when she was at the inn when there was the filler episode where the guy
they sleep over.
When they sleep over and Aika says, "Is there something wrong with your room?" And then she gives that mysterious look, and I'm like, "Oh, bitch, you're up to something. You are up to something."
But the thing is, Aika's very weird because she's a new addition to this anime. She's not in the game. Her father is in the game. Her father is the store owner, and the father always mentions Aika, but Aika's never actually in the game. You don't see her. She's a completely new character. And I like her because she's just casually there. She's like, "Oh, you've ordered the beef bowl. Here you go."
Yeah.
And she's always on the bicycle, and I'm just like, "That's
It's like a
sick."
running gag.
Yeah, it is. It's quite nice. I like
it's pretty
it.
awesome.
I enjoyed that a lot.
So, Bish, you enjoyed Adachi as killer, right?
Yeah, I honestly, I think he would have been the only person that I could have. Well, obviously Namatame. I thought Namatame would be the killer, but once you find out Adachi's the killer, you can think, oh, who else would have been the killer? It wouldn't make any sense to me.
Well,
No, and even now his motive still doesn't make sense to me. Like
his motive don't make sense, but it doesn't. For me, it doesn't need to make sense, but it makes sense as to how he is the killer. Do you see what I mean? Like, what leads him to be the killer? I can understand that, but I can't obviously understand his motives, like throwing people into the TV.
We talked at the beginning about senpai overuse, and Adashi's like, "Oh my god, senpai didn't notice me. I'm gonna kill everyone. Kill.
Essentially, well, he didn't really do that to kill people. Essentially, he just done it because it was fun.
yeah.
I think there's something underlying in Adachi. He's like very.
He's like yandere.
It's either that or he's mentally ill. Like that's something I'm figuring out. Like he might be.
A question, because Persona, at least from what I've known it from, has a lot of social commentary. But do you think Adashi's motive, his whole character, his facade, corresponds to a social commentary done by the writers or the developers of Persona?
I would say so. So you mean like they're relating it to like real life or situations?
Any event in real life situations?
I would say so because it happens with a lot of other characters. You know, like they're easily relatable to in some form or another. You know, with Kanji Tatsumi, like he doesn't really know who he is. Like, a lot of characters don't really know who they are, and he just wants to be accepted. That's something there. A lot of us want to be accepted for numerous reasons. That's something else. With Adachi, I can't see how I can relate to him, but he's probably relatable to other people because I'm guessing Adachi. I don't know what is wrong with him. But he has some sort of thing going on, and obviously we don't really know. We can't really find out. Oh, what's the real reason? Why did he do that? Why did he throw people in? I think he was just consumed by power, and obviously he is a policeman as well, so it can kind of link into that kind of thing. Do police have too much power? That kind of stuff.
The thing is that he's not in a position of power. He's a detective.
But he is. He's technically a detective. People respect him. That kind of.
I wouldn't say they respect him, like especially Dojima.
Exactly. But Dojima's of a higher class than him. But I mean, to the general public, no one would suspect a detective. Like if you saw, he's like a general, neighbor friendlyhood Spider-Man kind of situation. Like no one would expect him if he was the murderer. Like, oh no, he's a detective. He should be a nice guy. He works for the police department. Essentially, no one would suspect that. And that's why he would be the perfect killer because he can, cover up everything. He did that.
And he did, yeah.
Yeah.
There were two admissions while they were in the TV world of stuff he did that that covered the case because according to him, the game would stop right there. And he said the copycat. He also said the other guy who thought he was saving people.
Whatever his face was.
Namatame,
yeah. He also said him up. Like I do have to say or rather commend Adachi for his cunningness. But yeah, in my eyes, you're still a crazy killer.
But you mentioned that he set up Namatame and the other people when in reality it was a big ploy. It wasn't really. I think even Adachi himself was set up because he was given the power by the petrol station person, the gas station person, and that turns out to be Izanami.
That she just observes. She doesn't affect anything.
But she gave him the power by shaking his hand.
Yeah, but
she knew this was going to happen.
No, she didn't. She was just She said she was surprised.
She knew this was going to happen, but she didn't know that the team, the Scooby-Doo team, essentially would kind of figure it out and fight against it, because that's what ultimately Izanami. Another thing about Izanami is the main Yu Narukami's main persona is Izanagi.
Which is the counterpart, basically.
The counterpart of Izanami, and it's very nice actually. They have that kind of Japanese mythology theme running through it.
That's not. I would like to add that's not exclusive to Persona. I can recall a few other animes where they have played with Japanese mythology.
Yeah, of course, Naruto does that.
Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto especially. Yeah.
Even in some sense, even Dragon Ball Z, but not for Japanese mythology. I would say for more Chinese mythology, the whole thing with the monkey on the cloud, Sun Wukong. Just putting that out there. Journey to the West is very simple.
I've never watched Dragon Ball, so I don't know any of this.
Anyway, we're going off the point about Dragon Ball School, by the way. Anyway,
Dragon.
I love Dragon Ball. I love it. Don't judge me, guys.
Back to Persona.
Back to Persona. But even then, even a lot of it's not just Japanese mythology. Each persona is from some sort of mythology or some sort of religion, which is very nice. It's like respecting everyone's beliefs in that sense. You have Thor, you have Loki, you have other personas and stuff like that. You have like even Hindu gods that are persona. That are used as personas, or Christian angels that are used as personas, things like that. It's very even demons they use as personas as well, which is very interesting in that sense. So you have all these different mythologies and all these different beliefs and religions mixing together in this game, and you can actually use that. And I like that. It's kind of cool. Playing as Yamato no Orochi or Susanoo or Jiraiya or characters like this and stuff. It's really, really nice, especially because I'm a big fan of the Japanese mythology and history and whatnot. So for me, it was cool, especially the whole Izanagi and Izanami thing, because from what I believe from what I know of the story, they I think for some reason Izanami was in hell, and Izanagi goes and saves her. And then she's like not consumed by the demons, but she's like really ugly. And like, Izanami like lights a match or something, and he sees that she's like covered in bugs and demons and all this shit.
Yeah.
And then he's like, damn girl, you ugly. And he's just going out of hell, and he just closes the gate. And he's like, I'm gonna see you later. I'll call you sometime. That kind of situation. But he never calls back. Just saying. And that's why Izanami is acting like such a bitch, because Izanagi never called back. That's the reason. That is the real reason. That's the whole reason of this whole game. No, but seriously, it's nice how they did that as well. It's like, I like that. Anyway, that was a cool thing in terms of that. So yeah, what did you guys think?
I want to jump at the beginning because once Kevin started talking and you started talking, it kind of went on a train. It kind of like the train it went full speed and it derailed.
Bullet train.
Hey, that's how I feel in the last few episodes, Tyson. Welcome to my world.
All right. So initial impressions of Persona. I am familiar with the artwork. I've been familiar with Persona before. Not that I play games of Persona, but I usually saw them in magazines, like the artwork. I'm a really big fan of the artwork in Persona. How the aesthetic, and the drawing style, but for some reason I never pick a game up. But I suppose with me being exposed to Persona 4, that might change, because I'm actually considering purchasing the game to kind of like experience it for myself. Not the beta version. I'm not gonna buy a 350 game console just to play one game. I'm gonna be buying for PS2. But anyway, so yeah, big fan of the artwork. So I'm like, let's see what this is all about. At first, it was like, whoa, what did I got myself into?
Yeah, it's like,
by
what the
what
fuck is going
by
on?
what you yeah. It's like it's like okay, so because so the main character goes into a whole new town, and then he finds out that he can go to TV, sing like
Yeah, it's like,
what?
whoa.
Yeah, like what's going on here? And even by the end, I even forgot that that Izanami shook hands with you. I even forgot it by the end. So yeah, I suppose it was kind of a wild train ride. Also, I heard some of the controversies. For instance, the the is kanji gay or straight debate. I've read that a lot. I knew someone on a forum board that had a Yosuke avatar.
Yeah.
Rosuke.
I know minimum three that are huge Persona fans. And when I was considering getting Persona for myself, because I keep reading that Persona games are brutal in terms of gameplay, and like, I want to play this, but I'm not sure if I could. Not if I could, but if I would get into it, because I'm not a hardcore RPG player. The only RPG I've been exposing is Final Fantasy. And
Yeah.
they probably and probably the people that are listening to this podcast are like, "You heretic, Tyson! You heretic! You should be playing the good stuff." And I'm like, what is the good stuff? But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say on initial impressions. Is that you guys want to touch before I get into the controversy, because I want to get your opinions on that.
Something I just wanted to point out was when you said the game is brutal. Yes, it is indeed brutal. I've played the game. But for me, like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of RPGs or anything like that. Honestly, Final Fantasy 13 made me hate my life as well as RPGs, so I just stopped playing RPGs.
Dude, fun fact about that. I beat 13 too. I haven't beat 13.
See,
because
that's one.
I lament the grind in Final Fantasy 13. 10 fucking hours. 10 fucking hours to get to the good stuff? What the fuck is this? What?
No,
In 13, yeah.
Final
The
Fantasy
thing is,
13
I haven't
was so linear.
I haven't even gone on to the second disc. Oh no, I'm on the second disc. I haven't even gone to the third disc. I'm almost done there.
No, I got to the third disc, and yes, I did lament the grind. I think what was it? I was first time I picked it up. I think I left it in the second disc, and then I just stopped playing it. And then when I came back to it after a year of not playing it, I'm like, I don't remember anything of this. So I'm gonna just start over, and then I lament the grind all over again. And then when I went into that, I went to Grandpa's, and then I didn't grind over there because I fucking hate grinding. I fucking hate it. And then when the game brings me back to Cocoon, turns out that I'm under leveled, under geared, and there's a stupid dinosaur that keeps killing me. I can't even attack it. I see all these people on YouTube beating beating that dinosaur like so easily, and like what did I do wrong? In any case, it's there on my storage. I haven't picked it up.
The thing is about Persona 4 as a game, because I know in Final Fantasy 13 you really can't go back to previous dungeons and previous levels and things like that. But with Persona, like, you are in the TV world and you have an option to go to anything. Like, if you're like, I want to grind before the final boss, you can do that. You can grind for like as long as you want, because there is really no time limit, which is a lovely thing. Although,
question, because the anime made it seem like there was a time limit.
There is a time limit, but once you're in the TV world, you can stay in the TV world as long as you want.
It's like a parallel realities thing.
You can stay in there as long as you want, but as soon as you leave the TV world, the next day will begin. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
So you can stay like in real life time hours and hours and hours, but then in game time it's like, yeah, I was in the TV world for like a couple of minutes. Do you see what I mean? It just moves on to the next day, which is a nice thing. most Persona games do that, but like I'm saying, there is a time limit in terms of saving the people. Like if you go off loads of days without even going into the TV world, you're just told, oh, that person died in the TV world, and you're gonna have to start from the beginning of the week or from your last game save, which is frustrating because I didn't know that at the beginning. I was like, I don't like dungeons, I don't like RPGs, so I'm just gonna do the social links, and maybe Yukiko might save herself. But no, she did not. Like, I thought Chie might save her. But Chie was too weak. Even though Chie eats a lot of meat, and I think sometimes I think there's a problem. There's a problem with Chie in that sense. Chie is my favorite character in this game, but she doesn't eat vegetables. She just eats meat, and that's not good for you, Chie. You need to eat your vegetables as well. Eat your greens. All right? Just saying.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not gonna point it out.
No.
About Chie liking meat. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not gonna point it out.
Are you trying to imply that you'd make some sort of like innuendo
about Chie? Just, come on.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't do that. You just ruined Chie for everyone. Just don't do that, okay?
Like the Persona anime can get so explicit in some parts. When Kuma he develops a human form, he starts flirting with the people in the.
Oh dear God, yeah.
And he was like in one line, I want to cook some of that meat, and I'm like, oh my God, you're a hood. You're a fucking hood.
But that's because Teddy doesn't really have a concept of humanity. Like he grew human inside of him just by training. He was just doing sit-ups, and I'm like, yo.
Probably that's why Shie, Yukiko, and Rise don't mind him as much being a pervert, but the girls do mind the other guys being perverts, especially Yosuke.
Yeah, Yosuke. I think Yosuke has the hardest time in this anime, and I really feel sorry for him because it's just like, hey, Yu Narukami could say, oh, you guys look nice today, or like, oh, nice bikinis, or something like that. And then as soon as Yosuke is like, yeah, I got you guys bikinis, like, oh my God, Yosuke, you're a pervert, get away from me. And there's always this theme in the Persona games. There's always that one pervert. You had that in Persona 3. It was Junpei. You had Junpei, who was essentially like Yosuke, but I think Junpei is a bigger pervert. But anyway, you always have that theme. There's always the cool guy that everyone loves, who's always the main character. You always have the pervert. You always have the love interest, and then you have the other characters who have problems. In that sense, well, all the characters in this game.
Everyone has problems in this anime,
except for Yu Narukami. Yu Narukami he's the guy fixing the problems. It's true.
No, he's such a stud, though. I mean, he's getting all the chicks.
Woo!
The thing about Narukami is that during his battle with Izanami, I am aware that he fought his own self at the beginning, but for some reason
he didn't fight himself.
Izanami gave him the power.
Yeah, he just got he got the persona. He didn't have to face his true self. He never did.
Okay, so because I got it all wrong, it's like he faced himself in the end.
Yeah,
that's how it is. He actually does that. He uses all the bonds, all the social links that he's acquired, and that gives him the strength to defeat Izanami. Which is kind of badass because his persona evolves.
Just basically, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone anymore.
Yeah, that's
so
senpai.
He's begging to be noticed, and he does get noticed.
That's what happens when your senpai notice you. Is that whole situation, and you hear the music.
And what did you guys tell about the Yosuke and Yu fight? I think it was in episode 18 or 19.
Yeah, that's something that's also in the game. That was really nice. I like that. It was just like, oh, brotherly love.
Yosuke and you go by the river, and they punch each other. It's like, senpai, I've been begging to know. I've been getting for you to notice me.
Yeah,
I want you to punch me. I want you to be equals.
Technically, they're not like senpai. It's not like that. They're in the same year, in the same class. It's just amongst friends. Because I feel sorry for Yosuke. He doesn't get noticed as much, especially because Yu Narukami is a pimp. Especially in the King's game.
It was
number 2.
Sit on my lap. And I was like, yeah!
Oh my God, that episode!
I love that episode. And the way he throws the dart and he's like, number 2, sit on my lap. And I was like, yo! Yu Narukami! I forgot who was sitting on his lap in the end.
No.
And then Yukiko was like, oh no, you're doing it wrong, Chie. You gotta hold him like this. And I'm like, yo, Yukiko, I thought you were like a drag to begin with. I thought you were boring, but now
Okay.
yeah, you
No, the one thing I didn't understand from that episode, if they were not drinking alcohol, why
Yeah.
the hell would they go?
because it's a placebo effect. It's like when you're drug testing, especially if like stuff like that, you give certain group the actual drug and then another group a sugar pill or placebo. Sometimes you'll find that you tell someone you're giving them a drug and then they will miraculously kind of get better or whatever. It's because they're thinking it. They're thinking that's what they're having, and so their body thinks that. So they're thinking they're drinking alcohol, so then they get drunk from doing it. It's happened before.
No, and even after Naoto said that they at that bars they stopped serving alcohol, and here I am wondering, okay, why do these guys feel hot? And even Gio, he unbuttoned his shirt. Like, what the hell is going on here?
I have to say, that was probably the greatest episode in the history of filler episodes. It was just drunk Rise. Oh my god, that was awesome.
Oh, I know. Oh, whoa.
She's like, the king's orders are
I'm shipping
absolute.
Kevin with you, and I'm shipping Kevin with Rise.
No, he does not deserve Rise. He does not deserve Rise.
I feel
Come on.
insulted. No, but I ship you with Rise, okay? Fuck.
Me?
I'm sorry, Marie, but I don't care about you. I just no.
Wait.
Rise and Narukami.
No.
Point blank.
No.
End of conversation.
No.
This is where the podcast ends.
No. It doesn't end here because
It's not an argument. It's
no,
just
it is
a
an
fact.
argument because you know why? Because I ship Yu Narukami with. You might get angry when I say this. Do you know who? Do you know who I ship Yu Narukami with? No, not Kanji. I think out of all the male characters, I would ship him with Yosuke, but that's another issue. I'll get to that in a moment. But out of the female characters, I think Chie.
Chie. I think.
No, Chie.
No.
Chie and Yu Narukami.
Nine. Yet. Here, let me explain. I think Chie is kind of like Fi in the sense that they're so badass, they don't even need to be paired up. They're just perfect alone. I mean,
I agree with that, but Chie is awesome, and I want to see Chie and Yu Narukami have children because they have similar hairstyles, and I want to see what their kid would look like. That's my.
That's why you ship them, because they have similar hairstyles?
Because they have similar hairstyles, and because Chie is just so cute, and I'm like, Chie, you need someone to love you. I will love you, Chie.
If there's any of the female characters that I would describe as cute, she is not one of them.
Whoa, this is heresy right here. All right?
This is Tyson.
If I'm gonna give the cute title to any female here, I'm actually split between Rise and Naoto. That's
Naoto, I agree. Yes, Naoto's cute, but Chie is so much cuter. It's like, Chie.
No, she's basically the female version of of Bruce Lee. Why would I find that cute?
Because you don't like a girl that can beat people up.
I don't like a girl that can kick my ass. I don't like it.
I don't mind. Chie can kick my ass all day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't want to start the recording to just looking at the notes. Bish, do it.
Oh yeah, what was I gonna say? I don't like your ships. They annoy me.
Bish, I don't want to be mean, but I would sink your ships with a torpedo if I could. Just no.
Okay. Okay, you think you're a bad man here. Let's see how it is. Where are you gonna get the torpedoes from?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing live a game of battleship between Bish and Kevin.
I will sink his battleship with my torpedo, if you know what I'm saying. Just saying.
Oh my god, no.
I don't know. That sounded like a dick reference, and it was. Saying it would make battleship a lot more interesting. Do you know what I mean?
This is getting tweeted. I'm just sorry. Why aren't we recording?
I'm recording right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is actually going to be in the original episode. I don't even care. No, but seriously, something I don't like about your ship is like it's something that's for instance, first of all, Rise is kind of annoying. She's like, oh my god, senpai, like, oh my god, look, I'm a model, oh my god, like, no, Rise.
Understand perfection, but
she is not perfection.
She renounces that.
No, she's not perfection. That's something you don't understand here, Kevin.
You are the one who doesn't understand
I-
how to appreciate perfection.
I do, and I appreciate perfection in form of Chie. That's all.
Okay,
That's-
I do agree that Chie is awesome, but
Yes, Chie is
let's
awesome.
let's agree to disagree here, all right?
No, I'm not gonna agree to disagree. I'm just gonna say like, hey,
You're wrong.
jeez, no, I don't enjoy the fact that you're like, oh man, Rise Kujikawa is like the best character. Do you know why I think do you know why I think you think Rise is the best character? Because of her dungeon shadow.
What?
Yeah.
Because of what?
Acting like you're not acting like you don't remember what happened in her episode. You do you? Yeah, the yellow bikini.
So the whole thing about the controversy, I was gonna leave this for later, but now that there's a segue, I'm gonna take it now. The whole is Kanji gay or not, because his dungeon suggests one thing, but he has a thing for Naoto, and Naoto we learn later that that the he is a she. So where do we stand?
I think, like you mentioned before, but that wasn't in the recording. That it's the writers and they've chose like for the players' choice, like,
To
to interpret
with
it in the way that they can. Like people will think kanji's gay, people will think kanji's not gay, people think kanji's bi. But honestly, I don't know what kanji is, or in terms of his sexual orientation. I don't think that makes a difference to how I feel about kanji. But yeah, you do raise a good point. He did have feelings for Naoto, but like I said, he had feelings for Naoto even though Naoto was disguising herself as a guy. Yeah, so it leads to think that Naoto and that Kanji likes guys. But at the same time, it's like, later on, he still has feelings for Naoto. But maybe Naoto's an exception. We don't know. Like I said, it's all down to the viewers or the players of the game to decide. And I think that's a very nice thing to do in terms of the what are they called? The writers, because then they're not setting anything in stone. And yes, you're having this debate about it, but people won't complain either way.
Although some colonists would rather prefer if the writers took a statement, because with how the industry is turning out, that it's trying to be more open and more acceptable.
Fun fact about the game itself: there was a social link but it's been cut from the game, but you can still see the audio online where Yosuke and it kind of, because with female characters you can essentially make any female character that you can have a social link with your girlfriend, and you can go down two routes: friendship route or girlfriend romantic route. Obviously male characters didn't have that in the game, but there was recorded lines for Yosuke to have the romantic route with Yu Narukami.
Okay.
But that was cut out from the game. Man, you could have made so many people's day with that ship. You know what I mean? You could have made everyone's ship Yosuke and Yu Narukami. I'm not even joking it. I'm serious. And I agree with that ship 100%. Just saying. Just saying. I do not even disagree with that ship. Another ship I love to bits is I forgot it now. It's Chie, and like I said, Yu Narukami. Also Chie and essentially you can ship Chie with any character, but it's true. You can ship Chie with any character except for Rise Kujikawa. That's it. And Kanji. Can't ship Kanji with Chie. But yeah, you can ship Chie with Yukiko, you can ship Chie with Naoto, you can ship Chie with Teddy. Yeah. Another thing is Teddy and Kanji. That would be awesome.
Oh no.
I love that ship. You know why I love that ship? Let me explain. Because Kanji's always like, he likes these, like, the fluffy things, the cute things.
Cute things.
Yeah, and he's always kind of like, let me touch your fur. And Teddy's like, oh my god, no, it's 100% Teddy fur, you can't touch my fur, blah, blah, blah. And I think that would be like a really cute couple there. I really enjoy that. And, they could get really kinky with the suit, just saying.
I would I'm gonna make a stab in the dark and say that Kanji was probably having doubts about his masculinity, because he also tended to like feminine things, and probably because the views of society of how of what a man should be and what he like didn't go along, and and was and I kind of understand the concept behind it because when he's been introduced as a rebel, and he's been introduced as this one guy who fought a gang, and he became their leader. But later on, we learned that he did it because they were causing a ruckus near his mom's textile shop. I think that's what it's called. And so he's actually a very caring person. So
a lovely thing about Kanji is that he loves his mother so much, and that's something I really enjoy. Like, you really don't see that a lot.
All right. I was wondering, guys, what are your favorite characters, and what is name 3 favorite characters and name 1 character that you might dislike or just don't like as much as others.
Okay. For me, I would say I have to say my least favorite character right now, and it's Risei Kujikawa. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry.
You are just provoking. You're just trying to provoke.
I'm not doing it because I'm trying to provoke you. I'm doing it because there is something about her. It's just she's trying too hard to try and get into Yu Narukami's pants. I'm just saying. And even there's moments within the game, like you're playing. Sorry for spoilers of the game, but we already spoiled the whole story of the anime anyway. So just saying. There's moments in the game where her agent, when she was an idol, her agent comes up and it's like, oh, why did you leave and why aren't you coming back? And then there's this option, and then she's like, oh, that's because I'm getting married to this guy. And then she hugs Yu Narukami, and I'm like, what is? And then you have these choices where Yu Narukami can just go with it or say, hey, no, I'm not marrying you, or something like that. But it's kind of weird. It's like, why would she do that? Like, I would be really creeped out if someone went up to me and say, oh, I'm marrying this guy, and I'm like, but excuse me?
What if the person that was proposing to marry you was a renowned idol? I mean,
it doesn't matter. To me, she's famous, and what? It doesn't really matter how famous you are, because there's something. Yes, she is famous and she is beautiful. There's no doubt about it. But she's very annoying. Yes, it is her personality. She's just a very annoying person. I don't think I can handle someone like Risei Kujikawa. She's very needy. She's like, oh, senpai, notice me, senpai. You know what I mean? She is that kind of character. But it's like, on the other hand, someone like Chie or someone like Yukiko. Of course, Yukiko is the character where she always needs to be saved, and she always does get saved by Chie. Of course, you see how she develops throughout the anime. But at first, she does. She does get stronger, and that's what I like about Yukiko. I wouldn't say she's my favorite character because of it, but I have to say, you would know this by now, it's Chie. What I like about Chie, yes, she needs someone to defend. She's that kind of person. Without someone to defend, she feels worthless. And I don't know, there's something about her. She's really strong as a personality. She's kind of cute because she's just like, oh, Chie, She likes meat, and I personally like meat, so we can go on. I'm not saying I'm going to go on a date with Chie, but that'll be kind of awkward actually. But if that were to happen, I wouldn't
stop
mind.
The discussion.
Just saying, we can go on a date. We could share a steak. That's how.
I can imagine Fish sitting at a table, and on the other end of the table there'd be a plate with a steak, and there'd be like a Chie body pillow.
It's just that. It would just be that. Actually, no, I shouldn't be really saying this because I've recorded with her voice actress, who's an amazing person, by the way. Erin, if you're listening to this, you're awesome. Yeah! I'm not sure if she'll probably ever come on the podcast again after listening to this, but it's all right.
But what are your top 3? So Chie is the first, right?
Chie is within the top 3. I think Yosuke as well, because there's moments where I can relate to Yosuke. I'm just like, oh, Yosuke, I know how you feel, You want to be number 1, but you're number 2 in that sense. You see what I mean? He's never number 1. Yu Narukami is just the badass here, and it's just Yosuke is just left behind. But he's hilarious. He is perverted, and it's not a reason I like him. But he's just hilarious most of the time. He does some stupid shit. Getting himself in a trash can, him and Chie are comic relief actually, and obviously that's another reason I ship both of those two characters, because I think they really work together. They're really very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but it seems like they hate each other, but I can see that there is some sort of underlying love between them. But people will be like, Bish, you're completely wrong. Another character I enjoy is I have to say it's Kanji. I like Kanji because he's just badass. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna beat up this biker gang. It's not because he wanted to beat them up. It's because his mum didn't like the sound of the motorcycle. And it was keeping her up. And I'm like, that is very sweet of him. What a really nice young man. Yeah, I feel like an old lady now, but that's what it's like. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, here, have a penny or something. Have like a boiled sweet. It's like that kind of thing. But I don't know. He's very polite. He's very I don't know. He's very polite towards his elders. You know, he respects his senpai a lot. He's not, oh, senpai noticed me like Rosette, but he's just like respectful. He's like, hey, senpai, you want to hang out? Yeah, cool. He's a really nice guy, and I like Kanji for that. I also like the way he dresses. That's may sound weird, but I like his t-shirt. The one with the skull on it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Kanji, the badass." But he's
Would
like,
you wear it?
I think
It's a flaming skull, I think.
I would wear Kanji's t-shirt. I think
Would you get the same tattoo Kanji's wearing?
tattoo. Kanji doesn't have. Does he have tattoo? No,
In the animation he did.
I'm not quite sure, but
On the left shoulder.
I wouldn't get a tattoo. I'm not that kind of person that would get tattoos. I don't think they would look good on me. But I would cosplay as Kanji Tatsumi.
Are you buff enough though? That's a question. Are you buff enough?
Doesn't matter whether. I would say.
Doesn't
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it matters whether I'm really muscly or not. I am kind of well built in the sense of my body structure, but in terms of being muscly or not, I don't think it really matters because bear in mind, he's a high school student. He's not that muscly.
Oh my god!
Not as muscly as the free people.
Now people are gonna send to me fanfic of Bish. Oh my god!
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like,
you know what? The scary thing is, Nagisa is more muscular than frickin' Kanji. There's
true.
something wrong with that.
It's very true. Is that I think it's true. It's like obviously Nagisa is very over.
You guys are really into making Free a recurring thing on the podcast.
Yes, I love Free.
I wouldn't say that about me, but I mean, it just
comes up.
It just like, pops up randomly. I mean,
that's because I'm here, right?
No, I don't think it's because you introduced us to Free and you've created a monster. That's what you did.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Yeah, what have you done?
Blame.
You are the one to blame here. But anyway, back to Kanji. I just like it. He's like what do you guys call it? Is it a Tootsie Roll or something? I don't know what you guys call them. Those things that are like hard on the outside and soft on the inside.
They look like black crayons, old brown crayons.
No, that's Tootsie Pop. That's the one. Is it Tootsie Pop?
Oh, I think it is.
Oh yeah, Tootsie Pops.
Yeah, we don't have them in the UK, but I've heard Americans always say about it. It's like hard on the outside and soft and on the inside.
So tsundere, basically.
Yeah, Kanji is tsundere. Yeah, that's what he is. And I like he makes these really cute things and he helps the kids, like that kid that lost that the bunny
the teddy bear thing.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, Kanji, that's so cute.
You really sound like a grandmother right now.
Kanji. Like I'm actually Kanji's mum.
Oh my god.
Whoa,
I'm Mrs. Tatsumi. I'm just casually there. But then another thing is, like, speaking of Kanji, the game tells you a lot more. If you experience their social links, it tells you a lot more about Kanji's story. And oh my god, Kanji's story is heartbreaking. And I can relate to him a lot, but I'm not going to ruin it for you guys because I want you guys to play the game, experience Kanji's story in full. Like, his backstory is amazing. Just saying, as it is with a lot of the characters, but I think Kanji's one is the one that hit home the most. In terms of other favorite characters, I like Teddy, but the reason I like Teddy is because he's very loyal. He's very loyal to Yu Narukami, and he likes to take the piss out of Yosuke a lot, and he's like, oh, I don't understand human beings, and I'm just gonna go and work and whatever, and spend it on ice cream and all this kind of stuff. Also, I liked his Alice outfit when he was cross-playing. I love that. I really did love that. I was just like, oh my god, wow, Teddy.
Yeah. Teddy looked really cute on that. One.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did. And obviously cute. Can't not as cute as Kanji in his Marilyn Monroe outfit. That was hilarious, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, it was.
But I think another thing is that another one. But I have to say, my favorite, ultimate favorite character is Nanako. I love
Chie.
No, really? Nanako beats Chie, but the reason Nanako beats Chie is because Nanako, oh my god, the feels. Like,
When?
The whole Nanako situation where she's in hospital and her dad's rushing towards her and she's like, big bro, and then she's like, And I'm like, oh my god. That was the only
cried?
time. Yes, I swear to God, I cried. And I stopped watching the anime after thinking that Nanako died. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch this anime anymore. I stopped watching it for about a month. And then someone told me it gets better. And then I watched it again. I was like, thank God Nanako is revived. I was, honestly, I was crying for like days because
I
Nanako
feel
died.
like a heartless monster, but like, you know, in the past few anime, I think it was Bish who didn't cry during the sad scenes, and this time I'm taking on that role, and I feel kind of like a horrible person. But
It's alright.
I felt like the sadness, but I didn't. I kind of felt compassion, you know, for what's the dad's name? I
Dojima.
Dojima, yeah.
Ryotaro Dojima.
I mean, I feel sad for him, but I didn't. It couldn't push me to cry. You know,
No,
I don't know why.
I didn't really feel sad for Dojima. He was like...
But even for Nanako, I didn't.
No,
feel
I
like,
honestly, Nanako, no. That's one thing. If you kill off a kid in an anime or in a game, that's my, like... That's where I'm gonna cry. That's the only reason I will cry in a game. You know what I mean? Or an anime. I know it sounds so heartless, but when children die in anime, when children die in game, it's like it's the worst thing that can happen to me. And I'm just like, oh no, Nanako, no. And I honestly, Nanako is just she's so cute as well. And she's like, oh,
Nanako was actually voiced by the same voice character as Kanji's mom and as Fi, and that is pretty fucking awesome.
It
so
is.
Whenever
I think she's also in a lot of other games as well. But anyway, continue.
Yes. So your ultimate favorite character is Nanako, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it's also another thing is she doesn't have any sort of other family members, and her story is really dark in that sense.
Yeah.
And a kid doesn't really need to go through that, especially when her mum went to pick her up and her mum got run over and she never picked her up and she was just there at school.
And she never knew about that too.
Yeah, she never really knew what the real story happened and whatever. She didn't know it was a hit and run. It's very sad, and even that whole point, even her dungeon is heaven because the way the TV world works is it's what you really want in that sense.
Yeah.
Or it's your other side. Obviously, she was too young to develop a persona, but the TV world was made from her thoughts and made from her imagination. She wanted to meet her mum again, and I was just like, wow, the feels. I'm feeling shivers down my spine now, and I'm just like, wow, Nanako, you're so innocent, you're so cool, and I think Nanako as a human being is just one of the best human beings you can ever find. Like, she's so compassionate. She wants to help people.
Yeah.
She's very young as well. She's like 5 years old and she's doing the laundry, she's doing the cooking. I have to admit, that's a lot of responsibility for a 5-year-old. I'm 20 years old and I don't do cooking and I don't do laundry. Do you see what I mean? It's like, wow. It's like she's a role model to the human race, I think.
Yeah.
And if everyone was like Nanako, the world would be a better place.
Can I ask you a question, Bish?
Yeah.
Or both of you actually. Was I the only one got really, really worried when she ran away? Because I think you mentioned like how in a flashback that she wants to go meet her mom in heaven. I was like, oh my god, is she going to like kill herself? I was like, oh shit.
Were you more worried about that than
I was more
Nanako?
worried about that because I was like, no, don't commit suicide because like
That's kind of what I thought when the episode that she was having problems with her dad not showing up for the observation date. I think it's called when she mentioned what is heaven like. Then she asked that to you. I'm like, and then when Nanako and Dojima fought, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is she gonna commit suicide?
It's very depressing to think that a child could do that. Or was even thinking of that.
That's what I can't bring myself to believe. Like, does she even understand the concept of life and death?
No, I don't think she does.
So that's why it kind of eased me up
Honestly,
a little bit.
I don't think she does because, I'm going off from the game here, because within the game she asks what happens to people after they die, and there's various options. There's like, oh, she's in a grave in the ground, nothing and whatever, and then there's this option, oh, she's in heaven. And when you say that to her, you build up the social link with Nanako, and she kind of, I don't know, she finds like relief in that. She's like, oh, Mum's in heaven. Like, it's, I don't know, it's very real in that sense, and that's one moment. It's like it takes you out of the jokes in that sense, and it's like, wow, people are actually going through these things in their daily lives. And you can see through Nanako, and I think they've done it as Nanako, and like they've made Nanako this character like this, because if you've done it with an adult, it's a very different story, but because it's a child, it makes you think.
It's very pure. That's what the game.
Yeah,
it's very pure.
I agree.
And it's there's something like immensely beautiful about the character. It's like, wow, there's good in the world. You look at Nanako and you're like, yeah, Nanako is legit, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going too deeply into this, but like I said, if everyone was like Nanako, we wouldn't have problems in the world. But Nanako should be like the world leader. Too much responsibility on a child, but even then, sometimes you see Nanako's like child side, well, most of the time actually, when Nanako is like, what's it called, Love Line, the detective. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I love that Love Line. It was like, Magical Detective Love Line. That was something that was exclusive to the anime, which was awesome, and I liked it. And
I remember Kevin telling me that he hated that episode.
No.
And I was
didn't
like,
know.
how can I hate cute little Nanako when she's going going dressed up as a character? Lovely. And I'm like, how can I hate it? How can I hate this episode?
And the little mirror thing that says, the magnifying glass. It's like, I'm on the case. And it's like, let's pop a cap in his ass. I'm like, yo, that's hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie. A toy doing that? Like, imagine toys like that nowadays. Like, really defective toys.
Yeah, Tyson, I did say that I did not like those episodes, but it's not because of Nanako. It's just that...
Because they're fillers.
You know what? I will explain that later, because I'm going to ask a question about that later. But
I still haven't told my favorite characters. Okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was taking too long about Nanako.
Yeah, he's really passionate. But
you're leaving me aside. I'm gonna have to resign from the Galley Podcast Kunai. Just leave the podcast to you too. Okay, so favorite character. I was actually debating whether it was Kanji or it was Naoto because I knew about the stories behind them. Actually, I got Naoto spoiled for me by just visiting the wiki. Oh. When I look like it's a he, and then when I read it's a she.
I was shocked at the beginning when I found out. I was like, yo, I was convinced. But in the game, you can kind of tell, like, honestly, because the voice acting in the game is very different to the voice acting in the anime. In the anime, it makes it, she has this more husky voice. Well, not husky voice, but she sounds more manly. And then it makes you assume that, you know, she's a man. In the game, her voice is just like, oh, yeah, she sounds a lot more feminine. And I've seen posts on Tumblr where there's people that, her voice in the anime was a lot better in the game compared to the game. And I agree with that. Anyway, I'll let you continue. Sorry about that.
So I found Naoto to be a more interesting character, like when compared to Kanji. Also, it was something I wanted to mention at the beginning because we were talking about how Teddy was a pervert, an innocent pervert. Because when Teddy proposed a swimsuit competition, am I the only one that wanted to see Naoto in a swimsuit?
But you're being a pervert now because we all know that Naoto has big jugs.
No.
It's confirmed.
No, in the measurements. Remember?
Yeah, in the measurements we found out, and what was it? Oh yeah, and it was like, oh, you mean fun bags? And I was like, wow, Yu Narukami said something hilarious.
Well, from what I understand, that kind of clothing is like tailor made for her because she From what I understand, she doesn't have big breasts, so that kind of adds up to her androgynous kind of looking. Like she can pass as a guy easly.
But that's the thing, because her clothes are tailored to her, she can make herself look like a guy easily, and that's why we when we're told, oh look at her measurements and whatever. Even Risei Kujikawa was really shocked by that because she couldn't believe it. Because I'm not sure. Maybe she was jealous.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it again. But I was basically waiting for Naoto to just behave like a girl. When she was revealed finally to be a woman, I was like, oh my god! If only Naoto be acted more like a girl, I was kind of like looking forward to that, and I was like on the swimsuit. I'm like, oh my god, do I get to see Naoto in a swimsuit? And then when she resigned at the end, when she was already in a swimsuit, I'm like, oh my fucking god, dude! I was like Kanji, nose bleeding almost.
Wow. Well, another thing is you were mentioning how you really don't see her as a acting as a girl. But the thing is, in the when you actually play the game, there's a bit after where Yu Narukami comes back to visit, and she's wearing more feminine clothing, and you see there's something. And this also causes a lot of controversy as well. She's wearing Kanji's, bullet necklace. She's wearing that, and I'm like, are they going out? What's going on here?
So that basically confirms the ship on Naoto and Kanji.
I don't know if it confirms it, but you see it in the game, and you're like, whoa. She's wearing the bullet chain. What's going on here? Anyway, and Kanji's hairstyle changes, and it's hilarious. It's like, oh, Kanji with brown hair, and he's more like, hey, it's me, Kanji. He looks more. Let me show it to you actually. But continue your point, please.
So that's basically about Naruto for me. I think the second best character was definitely Nanako. It's like her innocence is what brought me back, especially the Love League episode. It really brought me back. Third favorite character. Actually, I actually don't have one. Just two females actually.
Interesting. What about your least favorite character?
My least favorite. It's kind of hard to say. Even though he had his moments, I'm gonna lead towards Teddy, because especially when he gets a human form, he gets somewhat annoying, but that's mostly because of a lack of traits from the other characters that I could find to hate. Oh wait. And you guys will probably hate me like this. Yukiko. I hate Yukiko.
I like Yukiko, but I don't really mind.
Where's Bish?
Oh, sorry, I was speaking and my mic was muted for some reason. I was saying that I'm alright with Yukiko, but they overplay her jokes with her bad cooking and stuff like that. Even in the Persona 4 arena, it's like, oh, Yukiko can't cook, and she's still learning to cook, bless her, but she still can't cook, and she makes people pass out from their cooking anyway. But there's something also about Yukiko that I don't like, and that's specifically for Persona 4 Arena, the fighting game. I hate people that use Yukiko and spam Yukiko, her fans, because she's overpowered, and I hate Yukiko in that sense. But Yukiko as a character, I'm okay with Yukiko as a character. She's cool. But in that game, I hate Yukiko.
Yeah, so maybe in the dislike character, top one's Yukiko, the second one, although it has this possibility to come out Teddy. That's about it.
Okay, what about you, Kevin?
Well, honestly, for top female character, it's obvious it's Chie. I really like her. Like Bish said, I like her strong attitude. She's funny as well, and she kind of reminds me of Fi, although Fi is a bit more serious. But anyways, yeah, I like her strong attitude. She's really independent, unlike Yukiko, which is something I really like. Two other characters I like would be Brosuke and Kanji. Like,
why did you call him Brosuke?
Everyone calls him Brosuke.
I never understood why. I never understood it.
Because he's a bro.
He is a bro. He's like your wingman that never gets laid. And it's true.
Oh my God.
It's true. I'm not gonna lie. And he's like, he would take a bullet for you. That's what I like about Yosuke. He's very loyal. And yeah, he is like the second kind of guy, and he does get jealous. But sometimes you're gonna have to beat each other up so you get to be on equal levels. That's all right.
To get sent by to notice you.
Yeah.
But Brosuke, I think he's really funny. He's just good comic relief, and he's
by the way,
loyal.
Just sorry to cut you off here, but did you notice his character design? I mentioned this in the Tempest episode.
I did not.
He's very similar character design to Megumu, and they have same surname. So
character I like would be probably Kanji. He's, I don't know, even though he has his problems, I think he's like G, a very strong character. Even though I don't know whether his attitude is a facade. I still think that he's really cool. He's strong. He's respectable. He's not in the whole senpai thing. He's really an independent character. I think he's on like basically equal ground with Narukami, whereas the other character is kind of like senpai, And I really like his persona. It's a badass persona, and his
Yeah,
fight with
Take
the shadow was pretty
Mizuchi is
interesting.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I want to say, sorry about this again, is, if you guys can see what Tyson is sending me right now via the Skype chat, it's quite interesting. He's sending me pictures of Rise Kujikawa. It's alright.
I thank you, Tyson.
Oh, you
But anyways.
why? Dude, come on. I know she's your age, but just calm down, dude. Just calm down.
Hey, shh. Anyways,
did you just shush me?
I don't.
Whoa.
Rise, I like Rise, but I wouldn't class her in my top 3.
Yeah.
I like Nanako too, like for the reasons that you guys mentioned, but because she isn't seen as much in the group, and even though she's adorable, but I don't know, not in my top 3. Anyways,
who's your least favorite?
Least favorite, it's so obvious. I mean, Teddy, I like Teddy. He can be adorable, he can be funny sometimes, but in his human form, I just find he gets annoying, and the whole joke about him gets kind of repetitive.
Yeah, I agree with you
in the series. So with his suit on, he's awesome. Without his suit, I think he's kind of like just a repetitive joke, and it just gets annoying, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like as soon as he gets that human body, he's like, "Yeah, I got a penis now." You know what I mean?
He's up to more mischief, I would say, once he gets his human body, basically.
Yeah, it is, and it's just like, oh, Teddy, you don't understand humanity in that sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's another thing that we can talk about is the personas. Out of all of the personas, which one do you think is your favorite?
Not even a question. Izanagi. Oh, actually, no, two of them. Izanagi, I think, was really cool. The sword and everything, the mask.
Mm-hmm.
I really also like Yukiko's persona because
really?
Fire. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fire, and it reminds me of a Phoenix, which is
But that's another thing. Even her what was it? Her shadow was a phoenix.
Yeah, and phoenixes. They hold strong symbolic value for me, especially since that's part of my Twitter handle.
Yeah,
and yeah,
true.
I think it was really cool. So those are my 2 favorites.
I would say my favorite persona, obviously Izanagi is there, but I also like the evil Izanagi that you see I forgot his name now. Adachi uses,
Adachi uses.
The bloody Izanagi. That is amazing. He looks, even his moves are kind of more undefined. It's like he's really like, he's really, I don't know. He's just, his moves have this kind of ignorance to him. Do you know what I mean?
Magatsu Izanagi.
Yeah, he's really like, I'm evil Izanagi in that sense, and even his. I don't know, the way he does his moves and the way he stands and even the way he holds his weapon.
He's like an exact counter to what
and it's very nice in that way. The design of him is awesome. But I wouldn't say he would be my favorite. I just like his design. Another like a persona I like is Tomoe. I love Tomoe. Obviously, Tomoe is Chie's persona. The banana guy, the banana head.
I found honestly that it was kind of ugly.
Tomoe.
The head, I think.
The head. No, but the head is because of Chie's banana shadow thing.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah. If you see the parody, and I suggest everyone go and watch this. Watch the Persona 4 parody. It's only half an hour long. It's an amazing animation. You normally see me like screen capping it and putting it on Twitter and whatever. It's hilarious. And there's this one thing where it's like dominatrix banana head, and it's like that's what it is. It's a dominatrix with a banana head.
Of Pyramid Head from I think it was Resident Evil series. I don't know if you know that.
I think I know.
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Silent Hill, man.
Yeah. I don't know which game it's from, but I recognize
Resident Evil, Silent Hill, close enough. Same difference.
It's alright. No one's gonna notice.
One is by Capcom, another is by Konami, okay?
I'm gonna get hate for this, I know it.
It's alright, don't worry about it. And another thing is, another persona I like, I really don't like, what's her name's, don't like Yukiko's persona, I don't like, I forgot her name, Naoto's persona. I like Take Mikazuchi, which is Kanji's persona, because he's like badass. He had a major redesign from Persona 3. Persona 3, Take Mikazuchi looks like a really skinny guy with white clothing. He looks human. But Take Megazuchi in Persona 4, badass. Same with Kentucky Doji. I love Kentucky Doji, or Kentucky Doji, or whatever how they pronounce him. He's badass. He's Teddy's Persona, that big ball, that piece of metal. He's awesome. But yeah, I like him as well. But yeah, I like pretty much all the Personas. But in terms of Personas that that you don't really that you see in the anime that is really not the main Personas, I like Yamata no Orochi. The dragon with the 7 heads, because that's badass. I like that. And what about you, Tyson? Which ones are your favorite Personas?
I will admit that I didn't pay too much attention to the Personas. Although, if I had to pick one, that
the show is called Persona.
but I was mostly focused on the interaction of the characters, not so much the battle stages. The one I'm gonna rephrase this question to which Persona did it stood out, and that would be Recess. I just thought the whole mirror thing was cool.
Himiko.
Yeah. She in the game she's a support.
Yeah, the name of her persona is called Himiko. A lovely thing about Himiko, in this kind of game, you always have the kind of support persona that you don't really see fight or anything like that. Persona 3 had that. It was I forgot her name. The persona was called Juno, and it was just there to scout enemies and to help you out in battles and things like that. Rise is just a similar thing. All she does is she's kind of pointless in that sense. Or she's like in the game, and you'll see this in the parody when she fills in for Teddy, when Teddy has to fight his shadow whenever. And she's like, "Oh no, he's gonna attack you! No, you guys!" In the parody, watch the parody, guys. It's hilarious. And it just sums it up. It's like the ultimate abridged version.
I think she is well represented in the anime though, because her role, if I understand correctly, is to identify weaknesses.
Yeah,
right?
that is her role. But she's kind of pointless.
Well, that's not. It's part of strategy. You're just a Rise hater.
She is well, but she's cool.
Exactly.
I think, Kevin, the only reason you like Rise is because she's a girl in a bikini. And she's your age, so you might think you have a chance with Rise.
Wow, I have a better.
She's 15.
She's 15, but bear in mind now she's actually, I think, 1 year younger than me. She's 19. Yeah, I think she was born in 1996.
1995.
Or 1995. I'm not sure, but I know Yu Narukami would be my age now.
What if you are Yu Narukami?
Maybe I am Yunar. I would love to be Yu Narukami. By the way, I'm going to be cosplaying as Dojima at MCM Expo, and apparently we're going to get loads of people from Twitter to cosplay as Adachi, because there's something in Japan called AdachiCon where loads of people just cosplay as Adachi, and because the Japanese people love Adachi, and yeah, Adachi's cool.
Even though he's a crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, maybe that's why. He's very unique, and his love for cabbages is very weird. It wasn't expressed in the anime. It really wasn't expressed. Not too much in the game, but you have to talk to him in his social link. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot that is expressed in the anime. You don't really learn a lot about them and a lot about their stories. The only way you get to do that is through the game. So the anime, yes, it does add certain bits that really don't need to be added, like the whole love line thing. But
that was cute.
It was cute, no doubt about it. But the game adds so much more in terms of storyline, in terms of personas as well. Like I said, I played 100 hours of Persona 4, and that's 2 playthroughs. There's a lot of replay value in this game, honestly. Not so much in the anime. Although I've seen this anime like 3 times completely, because it is one of my favorites. Hashtag just saying. This anime was the reason I bought a PlayStation Vita.
Yeah,
it's like really weird. I didn't have the money to buy a PlayStation Vita, but I waited until Christmas and I got a PlayStation Vita just for this game. I only have 2 games on the Vita, believe it or not. One of them is Dead or Alive and the other one is Persona. I don't really play Dead or Alive that much. I just play Persona all the time. It's very crazy.
I have a reason for you to play Dead or Alive, jiggling boobs.
Yeah, but honestly, when I can play it on the PlayStation 3, why would I play it on the Vita? And that's another thing. But that's another issue. What I'm saying is like Persona is the reason for me to buy a Vita, and it was for many other people. Like I wasn't really going to buy it on a PS2 because my PS2 is like really really damaged. To a certain extent. I'm looking at it right now, and God rest its soul, it's really... The disc tray is like messed up. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's making me sad because I can't play my PS2 library. I have loads of PS2 games that I can't play anymore. But yeah, it's like, for me, it's like awesome in the sense that, yeah, it's Persona. I got to play it on the Vita, and I think it was like, in my opinion, it's like the only game to buy a Vita for. There's not that many good games on the Vita. And a lot of people, if you go and see the IGN reviews and the Metacritic reviews, and they are amazing reviews for the Vita game, you know. I'm not going to lie.
I disagree. Like, it's a bit off topic, but I think Vita actually has, like, it doesn't have a lot of AAA games, but I think there's still a few games that
it's
really
very
worth having.
indie.
I mean,
it's very indie based, and it's like a lot of the games that are AAA tend to be Sony games.
Or Japanese games.
Yeah, because you know why that is? Is because in Japan, the Vita is very popular, especially because now they're doing their whole super value pack Vita, which is like you buy a Vita for £120, which is incredibly cheap for a Vita, and you get 8 games with it, and you get that built-in storage, and you get an 8 gig memory card. That's a bargain. Over here, you buy a Vita without any memory card, without any games for £170. You know, and obviously that's why the Vita is more popular in Japan. And just saying, let's go back onto the topic, Persona. Yeah. Persona!
Well, yes. Did we finish the question, or can I ask a new question?
Yeah, you can ask.
You know what? I have a feeling that this is going to be a very long episode because I have a bunch of questions to ask.
Ask away. That's fine.
All right. Let's start off with what was your favorite episode? What was your least favorite episode? And explain why. I mean, what was in it?
I think for me,
I think I know what it is.
The Nanako episode.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, because of the feels.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm just gonna agree with everything Bitch said and just jump to the part.
Because I was expecting like the episode where they go to the bar.
That was a nice episode, but for me, I think the Nanako episode tops it because I've never been emotionally attached to a character before, and it gave me so much emotion that I decided not to watch the anime. I've never experienced that before in any sort of thing, and I did with that. And you know, I felt like a human being. I cried because of Nanako. I literally mourned over a fictional character. You know how weird that sounds?
No, but that's not weird. I think maybe it's weird, but I think it's understandable because that's very good. That's saying that the character in the game, Nanako, is represented in a very realistic or human way, right?
Yeah.
The writers have done their jobs.
They've done their job perfectly, and that's my favorite episode, despite the fact that I was annoyed by the fact Nanako died. But that was my favorite episode. What about you guys?
I'll let Tyson go. Tyson?
No, I already said that I agree with Bish. So it's your turn.
Like everything? All right. Okay.
Well, Nanako's death didn't make me cry, but it really hit me in the feels.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with your opinions, that I completely understand where you're coming from, and I did feel the feels. But if I were going to say what episode I enjoyed the most, like I had the most fun watching, and I just came out of it like, yeah, it was awesome. It would probably be, I think it was episode 15, where they go to the class trip and everybody gets drunk and they play the King's Game. It was hilarious. I think it was.
I agree with that, especially about that episode. They go to Tatsumi Port Island, and that's a throwback to Persona 3. Because the game, Persona 3, was set on Tatsumi Port Island. And even then you meet a certain character called Chihiro, the class president. In Persona 3, she wasn't the class president. She was just the treasury. Like, she used to sort out all the math and stuff for the school council and whatever. And she was a love interest in the game. So it was really nice to see her back there. And she's pretty cool. And, Yosuke, oh, she's beautiful, blah, blah. But yeah, I agree. The King's Game episode was awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when he threw the dart and it was and it hit the number 2, and then he was like, number 2, sit on my lap. And I was like,
I think it was hilarious though. Like everyone's attitude was hilarious, especially Narukami, right? Because
he got out of his shell.
He doesn't like. He's not like Yosuke. He doesn't try to.
He's very respectful.
He's just calm, right? And after boom, you pull in. It's not even alcohol. It's just the placebo effect, and it's just hilarious, I think, and it's very enjoyable to watch.
Yukiko's she was hilarious in that episode.
Yes, because
you gotta hug him like this, and I'm like, yo, Yukiko, wow,
because it was like Narukami. She's normally really like calm, collected, and she doesn't speak too much. And after that, it's suddenly this whole new personality change, right?
So after seeing that episode, out of the whole cast of Persona, as in like the characters, which one would you go on a night out with, like partying?
Probably Yukiko or Rise. But I love the fact that Kanji and Chie weren't really drunk and they were just there like, what the fuck is happening, guys?
True. They were like, yeah.
They're like,
they were just calm about it. What about you, Tyson? Which one would you go on a night out with?
Rise, because she would pay the club.
Oh, you're thinking about it like, okay,
smart
that's smart actually. That's really smart. I didn't think about that. I was gonna say Yu Narukami because he could be my wingman, and
I wouldn't mind if I would have you as wingman. I wouldn't mind at all.
Hell yeah! Yu Narukami is only when he's like Yu Narukami in the King's game. Otherwise, I would not have him as my wingman because I know he would get all the ladies.
Yeah, I'd be like jealous. I'd be like Yosuke basically.
Yeah, it would be.
We'd all be. We'd all be
Yosuke in that situation.
Wait. Did we mention our least favorite episodes yet, or did you guys forget to do that?
Oh my!
No, there is something that I keep meaning to bring up, but I never had the chance. What is up with Yu's pop collar? What is up with that? Is that a fashion statement?
He's just a stud. Like, I mean,
the pop collar makes him look like a douchebag.
Because he's the pimp king, basically.
He is, yeah.
Like,
he is.
He knows what Rise, Yukiko, and all that want to see. I mean, like,
it's true.
Why do I want to see a YouTube poop of?
Okay.
No, hear me out. Why I want to see a YouTube poop of Yu Narukami and the song "I'm Sexy and I Know It."
Oh, yeah.
Just a collection of clips of you being a pimp. I want to see that YouTube poop.
That would be the whole anime. That'll be the whole anime. Because Yu Narukami is just like that. He's just a pimp. Just leave him alone, Tyson.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Just because we're all jealous of Yu Narukami, it's okay to be jealous of him. All right, it's crazy though. I have to admit, he was designed in such a way that he does get all the ladies, and he does. Yeah, all the guys want to be him, and all the girls want him, and that's something awesome about Yu Narukami. Everybody loves him,
and it's kind of weird how in the end when he's facing his own self, that he was afraid of being alone, and now that he has all these people, I don't know if it was the move to a newer town or something. It kind of didn't make sense to me, but I'm just throwing that out there.
I think how is he lonely?
No, in the sense because he lost his friends in the whole fight thing. He would be the last one left, and he knows he can't do that he can't do that alone. And then that's when Igor says to him, reveal the truth and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff, and he gets the orb of truth or whatever it is. Another thing is I just want to point out is the characters in the Velvet Room. What do you think about the Velvet Room?
Honestly, I wasn't confused, but I was just like, I don't understand its purpose, right? But this is one of the things, one of the downsides and one of the upsides. Like, it is completely faithful to the game by putting the Velvet Room in, except that since I have never played any game in Persona series, and it's my first time watching Persona 4, the animation, which is linked to that, I didn't know that the Velvet Room is a recurring theme in the series, right? They don't explain that. It's just...
They don't need to explain it because it doesn't continue from a previous game.
Yeah, but I just don't. They just don't explain why it's there. That's the thing.
But the thing is, no one knows why it's there. No one knows the true purpose of the Velvet Room. The whole point of the Velvet Room is really to help a user of the wild card, the person who can use multiple personas on their journey. That's the whole point of it. And a lovely thing is that the Velvet Room changes according to each game. We see in Persona 4 in Persona 4 the Velvet Room is in a limousine. Because they're in a TV world, TV stars and film stars tend to drive around in luxury cars, that kind of stuff. And in Persona 3, you have this. The dungeon system is different. You have different levels and whatever, and it's like a whole tower that you have to go through. It's called Tartarus, and the Velvet Room is an elevator. So it's different things there, but I think it's very nice how the Velvet Room links in with the kind of dungeons in the game. That's something I enjoyed. Although the Velvet Room does get a bit weird. You're like, why does Igor have that really long nose? Why? Like, what's the purpose of it? Why does he look so creepy? And what is his backstory? There's something I really want to know. And I'm hoping in like another Persona game that we get to know more about Igor, because he is kind of creepy, like I said. And even Elizabeth as well. Not Elizabeth. I keep on saying Elizabeth, but I mean Margaret. Yeah, Elizabeth is her sister from Persona 3.
And Theo, I think, is her...
Theo is their brother. But the thing with Theo is Theo is only there in the Persona 3 portable game, and you don't get to have him as a persona, as a Velvet Room person, unless you pick the female main character. And then you can choose if you want Elizabeth or Theodore. You don't get to have Theodore if you are the main male character.
I see.
So whether Theodore is canon or not, he is kind of canon because he is in Persona Q, which is the crossover game on the DS. It's canon apparently, so I don't know how that works anyway. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, Velvet Room. What do you think about that, Tyson?
It also kind of didn't make sense to me, but I kind of had I kind of caught up that it was in a limousine, but why all the fog on the outside? Or I almost thought that the limousine was underwater.
Oh, that was because I think it's supposed to be within. They said the realm of.
Yeah, it's within the TV
mind. No, it's really. I don't think so.
It is because there's this one point where you see Teddy. He's just like, I don't know where I am, and he's in the limousine.
Oh yeah, what I thought was that it's because if I understand correctly, none of the other characters can access the Velvet Room. Only the chosen one, right?
It's only the person who has the ability for the wild card. No one else. But the interesting thing is that yes, you are true. I remember what Igor said is, welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. So yeah, but he does. I don't know how he accesses the Velvet Room. It's very confusing whether it is in his mind or it isn't within the TV, because how the hell does Teddy enter that? Because he did go back to the TV world after Nanako died. So it makes me think the limousine might be parked in the TV world.
Because I had a feeling it was in its own realm, like outside of the TV world, right?
But then at the same time, you do mention it could be just all in his mind, because there is he tends to see Igor in his dreams a lot. It's a very weird concept. It's very difficult to understand, and they will never make it clear.
Yeah,
will never make it clear. They always want it a mystery.
So,
you guys want to talk about the music now?
Oh, you want to wrap up, Tyson? I had a few more questions actually.
Oh my
god! I like how
god.
Kevin just like, hey, you want to wrap up?
Oh my god, Kevin!
God forbid me wanting to talk. You guys are like another podcast. You guys are like, oh, Kevin's so timid. He needs to build up courage and talk more. Now I'm talking more. And
I like that impression of us.
Tyson.
Who was that supposed to be of?
Yeah. Who was that supposed to be?
Who was that supposed to be?
I don't know. I think it's more like Tyson, because Tyson is like, I want to go eat now.
I am hungry. I can't help when I'm hungry.
Okay, last time you wanted to end Tempests because you wanted to go eat pork or something, and now you want just control your hunger, man. Come on. I know you're like Chie and you need your meat, but just...
Whoa. Nice reference. 10 points to you.
Wow, Kevin, wow. I thought you were above that, but here you are making dick jokes.
Whoa! That was
no
an
one-
addiction. You were the one who turned it into addiction.
Yeah,
I was trying to
you
make a
covered.
reference to the game. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to make
you,
a
you were the
reference.
one that made it sexual.
You were
it
the
is
one who
5:30.
ruined
It
shit.
is 5:30. I want some meat in my stomach. So let's talk about the music.
All right. Anyways, I had a question. Yu Narukami. What
Yeah.
do you think about the protagonist? Because one thing that I noticed is that he doesn't talk much. I don't hate him, but I just
He doesn't.
find that
The reason he doesn't talk much is because in the game he doesn't talk at all.
I know that's the thing. Once again, it's a faithful adaptation, but I find his voice acting seems kind of flat. The
No,
emotional range
no,
isn't.
no. But that's
Fish, I am. Let me finish. I
No.
do. Fish, I'm sorry, but you have to hear me out here. I think you might agree.
I'll hear you out. Okay.
I do think that it's not completely flat, but I think compared to the other characters, like especially Yosuke, I mean, he's laughing all the. Compared to him, Narukami just seems kind of flat in terms of like voice acting and character. I do understand, Rich, that it is an adaptation of the game, but the thing is, why can't you have a main character that is more energetic or just more filled with
The reason that is because the way the main character acts is down to the player. All right, because this game is like you have the social links and they can
you can
react
choose the
differently.
dialogue, right?
Yeah, you can choose the dialogue, so you can make Yu Narukami the biggest douchebag in the world. You can make him a player.
I see it.
And the
Right.
the anime is trying to make sense of all of that. That's why you see him in the King's Game, the ultimate pimp. And then there's
So-
moments where he's sensitive, and there's moments where he's caring, and then there's moments where he's a complete douchebag.
Okay, I see.
So the anime is trying to sell the game to you in that sense, like, oh, this is the whole range of Yu Narukami. This is him.
All right.
You see what I mean?
What I saw was I thought he was just they wanted to make him not talk much so you would feel like you were the main character, and I understand that, but it's like I guess what they're going for was try to act neutral in terms of the decisions. So
because he is, because the thing is, whatever they do, because even his name, that was a new thing that they added for the anime. Of course, they called him Yu Narukami. He has loads of different names. He has another name in like the manga or something, but in the game, you choose his name and you choose how he acts. But even then, now they made him, oh, this is Yu Narukami. This is how he acts. And he's always calm and cool and whatever.
See,
the
that's
other
the
main
thing.
characters are not like that. I think he's very unique in that sense.
because you're the one playing him, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. My next question was going to be, how did you think about like they represented the game in the anime, and was that good for you or not? Because, like you just said, me not being a Persona player, I did not understand that. I didn't understand why his personality was done the way it was, right? And thus, I think it's kind of confusing for for people who haven't played the game. You know what I mean?
To be honest, I've seen this anime way before I've even played the game, so I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, it does get confusing, but after you play it, but the thing is that confusion leads you to wanting to figure out what's going on here, and it's a great marketing tactic in that sense, because you're left wanting to know more about Yu Narukami.
Yeah, it leaves much to be desired, and you
Yeah,
want to.
and you want to know more about him, so then you buy Persona 4 Golden, for instance, and you buy a Vita with that, or whatever, or you play Persona 4, and it's just like, oh, I have to play this game, and you play the game, and you get so emotionally invested in the game, then you become hooked, and then you're like, oh, I need my Persona fix, I'm gonna go play the fighting game, even though I don't like fighting games. Well, personally I do, but I'm saying in a hypothetical sense, even though I don't like fighting games, I'm just gonna play it because of the story continues from Persona 4.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it hooks you on, and then you want to play Persona 3 for some reason, because Persona 4 Arena has characters from Persona 3, and then after that you want to play Persona 4 Q, which is the crossover game with Persona 3 and Persona 4. It's a one big marketing tactic, and it's very smart in that sense. And I think the fact that you don't know, and it's making you want more. You want more Yu Narukami. You want more Persona stuff. It's that kind of thing. It's very smart that they did it like that.
All right.
So as I was saying regarding, even being a first time person, because like I said, I didn't know anything about the game or anything, and this made me want to play the game. And I was just like, wow, I have the whole game ruined for me essentially. But there was something that was itching, and I was just like, I need to play this game. You see what I mean? It was like an addiction in that sense.
I think that it's probably because the anime, I think, is just the tip of the iceberg. It covers the story, but what an anime can't bring what the game brings is that there's the gameplay, and I mean the game has like dozens of hours of gameplay and other side stories you can explore, and I think it explains things more than anime does, right? So you're just scratching the surface with the anime, so there's still much to be discovered.
It's true. I agree with that, but then at the same time, there's certain stuff in the anime that isn't covered in the game. You know, Aika, there's like they're little small Easter eggs, but in terms of personalities, you learn a lot more about Yu Narukami and what kind of person he is. You don't learn any about that in the game because you are essentially determining how he is.
Yeah, you don't make the choice.
Yeah, but I would say if you want to know more about the characters in depth, play the game. You know, if you just want to get a feel for the story, and if you don't like RPGs like me, like why would I purchase an RPG without knowing what the story is? You see, without knowing all of that kind of stuff, because I hate RPGs, but I love Persona. It's very weird, but you know, I think watching the animes helped me to kind of ease myself into Persona, because no one is going to see Persona on a shelf and say, oh, I'm just going to buy this game. No one's going to do that unless they know more about it, and I think the anime is a great gateway for that.
Yeah, I have a question for you specifically, Bish, since you're the only one in this group that has played the game. Looking back, would you have, if you had the choice to go back in time here and change things, would you have played the game first and watched the anime, or would you have watched the anime first and then played the game?
I would say, to be honest, I would watch the anime first again.
Oh, okay.
Because, I don't know, because that's the thing that got me into it. If I had the game in front of me and I was just like, honestly, I would not even play it, but I would be like forced to play the game. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't play it because I want to play the game, or play it because I have to play it. Another thing about that is there's certain things within the game that isn't as emotional as the actual anime. Nanako's death, for me, when I'm playing the game, wasn't as emotional as the anime. There was so much emotion in terms of the voice acting as well. I have to admit, there's certain voice acting in the anime that's so much better than the game. Although the game's voice acting in itself is amazing, but you know, like Naoto Shirogane, I preferred her voice acting within the anime than I do in the game. Although the game does have amazing voice acting for her. But you see what I mean? I don't know. It's better in that sense for me. Anything else?
Yeah, one more thing before we move on to the music and then wrap up. I think Tyson wanted to talk about the English dub, Japanese dub, and the differences between those two. Because you and maybe, I think, watched the dub, right?
I've seen a bit of both. I've seen full-on English dub 3 times, and I've seen the Japanese dub about a couple of episodes of it, but I can't take the Japanese dub seriously. The reason I say that, and with every other anime, I would prefer the Japanese dub, but with this anime, I really hate the I don't like to say this, I hate the Japanese dub. And that's because
it's one of the rare cases, honestly.
Yeah, it's a rare case, and you know, for instance, Rise, Nanako's alright as well. Nanako's alright in the Japanese dub. Yu Narukami is cool, so is Yosuke, but Kuma, I hate him. I really hate his voice. Oh my god,
in the Japanese dub, he's so annoying.
He's like, that's what he sounds like to me.
His voice is so high pitched and he speaks so quickly that I find it irritating. Yeah,
it ruins the character for me. But Teddy in English is hilarious, and I think the jokes work better in English than they do in Japanese. But that's just me. Another thing is, like, when it's in English, I don't know, you can relate to it more, especially like you don't feel that they're in Japan. Like, I feel like this could be set in America and it would be like the same. Incredible. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, it feels like it doesn't feel like it's in Japan. Yes, they are saying Japanese words and whatever, and it's not a bad dub. You know, there's some really bad dubs where they don't pronounce the Japanese properly, but everything is pronounced perfectly. I have no problems with the dub, and Chie's voice is incredibly amazing in English, and that's down to Erin Fitzgerald, and she's a boss. Erin, if you're listening, you're amazing. So yeah.
Right. What I think about that, I haven't seen full episodes of the Japanese dub. I've seen a few YouTube videos, and I do agree. I first thing I noticed was probably Teddy's voice. It was really high pitched, really fast, and I found it really annoying overall. But overall, I don't think it was necessarily a bad dub. I liked Yosuke's voice. I think it was pretty good. Overall, I think that they're both pretty good, but it's just that differences. I didn't find any voices rather annoying in the English dub. In the Japanese dub, I found a few characters kind of annoying, it's usually the opposite, but this is an exception, you know. Regarding the English dub, like the quality of it, I'd like to make a point about that. Bish, you say it's really good, and I do agree with that. I think a lot of the characters are like can see their emotions and they're well voiced, but some characters I think they just sound kind of like I can't put my finger at it. It feels like a typical English dub, you know, like it doesn't. Some characters just don't sound as human for me. I'm really sorry. I might you might kick me from the podcast for saying this, but I think Chie's voice has a bit of that. I mean, it feels kind of cartoonish, slightly cartoonish, just enough to make me believe, like put me off. But overall, I think that it's definitely above average, but it's not the best I've seen. I think it's probably
no, you're entitled to your opinion. Everyone likes different flavors in that sense.
Yeah.
I can't judge you. But yeah, I can see what you mean in terms of her voice being cartoonish, and in some sense, it could be considered over exaggerated. But Chie, it suits Chie as a character.
Yeah.
That's what I feel, and I feel it's perfect for Chie. And you know, I think it makes Chie alive because Chie had a voice actor before that. They recently changed the voice actors. It wasn't always Erin Fitzgerald. She took over from another person who I don't remember. I'm not sure if that's the same voice within the anime or not. But you know, from what I can tell, I like Chie's. I prefer Chie's new voice. Sorry, because there's always like when you change a voice actress or voice actor in a game from previously, people are like, oh, I prefer the new voice better, or I prefer the old voice better.
It was Tracy Rooney from the older game.
Yeah, but was she in the anime or not?
No, Erin Fitzgerald.
Erin was in the anime.
Voiced everything after a Persona, the original game.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still think it's definitely above average for an English dub. Normally, I would just give a look at the English dub and see if I like it or not, and just switch over to the Japanese dub. But in this case, I think that it's very solid. It's above average compared to your typical English dubs. It's really good, but it's just a few minor things about some characters that kind of put me off. So I think it's probably the second best English dub I've heard, and that's still saying something. That's really strong.
Of course. For me, I really don't like English dub in terms of anime, but I think for me it's my favorite English dub. I've seen Torador's English dub. It's all right, but not as good as Persona's. Ironically, they have a lot of their similar voice cast in both, but you know, it's really cool. Anyway, let's talk about the music.
Is Tyson back yet?
I'm not sure.
I'm here.
Tyson has returned.
You missed the discussion about the dubs, and
I think I came 3/4 in.
It's all right. So the music, Tyson, what do you think about it?
I like the music in this anime. I really did.
The music is actually from the game, by the way. It's all the game's music.
I like how at least the first intro song, I think it's called what was it that
Sky's the Limit.
Sky's the Limit. I love the use of piano.
That was my favorite.
Bing 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 bing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have that song in my head for a little bit.
Yeah, same here.
But not in a bad way, but in a good way because I really like that. It's kind of like establishing. Okay, so maybe I'll have to be used to getting to listen to piano songs or with a use of piano somewhere in the song. And about the overall theme of the music. What is it with copy and paste? What is it with the matter?
Let me tell you, because the thing is, the game uses a lot of the music like that. You know, for certain areas, and because it is kind of like a visual novel type element to it, so there is a lot of music that is reused within the game. And like Kevin mentioned, it stays so true to the game that's one of the gripes, I would say. That's for me. That yes, it does reuse music a lot. Yeah, but I don't think that's an issue for me. The fact that it reuses the music, because the music is alright. Because you know, in the boss battles, there's always that. You know, that's always playing. Like when you're playing the game, and boss battles could last half an hour, and that's like 3 minutes of music that's being repeated again and again and again.
Yeah, in a loop.
Yeah, it's just. But in the anime, it happens with every boss battle as well.
But when I meant about copy and paste, I didn't mean like the game using the anime using music from the game, but rather that the lyrics say something about copy and paste, both in the opening and in the ending. That's one thing that stood out to me, and I don't know if it's an ongoing topic with the Persona series. Maybe you could shed a bit of light on that.
What do you mean by that? Like the lyrics are the same?
I'm gonna find the lyrics for you.
No, Bish. What he means is that, like, in the first opening song, in the lyrics themselves, the singer mentions copy and paste. Like, she sings copy and paste, and he's just wondering if that's linked to the game or not, or it's just a coincidence.
I'm not quite sure. I think he might. I've never heard that kind of reference before in previous Persona games.
I don't think it was something Tyson, to be honest.
I think it was just a coincidence. I don't.
Yeah.
But if you guys listening know, then please tell us on Twitter because we would like to know.
Yeah. Use hashtag #GelpKunai.
Or we could just use that hashtag or any hashtag you want actually. But that's the main Get Life Podcast Kunai hashtag. If you want to hashtag broske, do that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We're still big kid. Also, I like how it sounds upbeat without sounding really hardcore. I guess you had to put a word to it. It's like I think I saw that more in the ending song, the first one, where the electric guitar sounded like lower than usual. I thought that was kind of awesome too. As for the second intro, I still prefer the first, but the second is not that bad. Overall music used in the anime was okay.
Yeah.
It kind of set the mood of friendship and bonds and whatnot. Just your average stuff, but it's something great. It wouldn't be a soundtrack that I had on my phone to listen to, although maybe Sky's the Limit would be.
Funnily enough, I have the whole soundtrack on my phone.
Well, I'm gonna ask for Sky's the Limit thing. You gotta send that over.
I'm not gonna do that.
Wow.
I'm not gonna do that. You need to purchase that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's
Kevin, go ahead.
Oh, me? I think I enjoyed it. It was pretty good, especially the first opening. I really liked it. I had it stuck in my head, and I found one thing I liked about it was it was really catchy and it was upbeat. And the beginning part of it went along very well with the animation I found, like with all the characters like putting on their glasses. I think it was really nice. Later on, though, never mind. I think overall it's probably really solid opening and a very good song as well. The second opening, I found as decent. I just didn't like it as much as the first one, I guess. In terms of the songs during the anime itself, it was pretty nice. It reminded me of Final Fantasy for some reason. I don't know why. It just reminds me of the Final Fantasy boss music when you're doing the fights. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid OST.
So yeah, guys, we've been in this Skype call for about 3 hours. Everyone's tired. Everyone wants to eat. I don't want to eat. I just want to go and sleep. But seriously, we've been here for 3 hours. This may be like a 1 hour and a half episode, so a lot of stuff will be cut out. But so there might be a blooper reel. Yay! It might be.
If Tyson sends it to Bish.
If Tyson makes that happen. If Tyson makes it happen, I want everyone to thank Tyson. All right?
Yep.
Thank him because he deserves your thanks. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to let Tyson announce what the next episode's going to be about.
The next episode is going to be Attack on Titan. The summer blockbuster last year, which Kevin already said that he hates. We're watching Attack on Titan.
No.
No, okay. No, I don't want to hear your excuses. Save it for next episode. Save it for next episode. And with that in mind, thank you for listening to Get a Life Podcast Kunai. Guys, say goodbye.
See
ya.
Be sure to check out the Get a Life podcast on iTunes for your Japanese gaming fix and hot chicks. Just kidding. No hot chicks. Just Bish.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to take this a second time.
Shut up!
Okay, yeah, good job. Bye.